What's up, guys? Cody here with Don and the Out of Bounds Sports Podcast, coming at you with CFL power rankings for Week 7. Exciting offensive action in the last week. Lots of high-scoring games, some great touchdown passes, and another return for Jaren Grant. So we'll get into all that next. All right, so we'll kick off with our first game of the week, Thursday Night Football. Toronto Argonauts visiting the Montreal Alouettes
Argos.
in what looks like a Beast the East matchup. And you know what? There was a surprise winner for that for a lot of people, I think, in that game.
Well, we were looking at a blowout in this game because, and the whole complexion changed at the end of the first quarter when Fajardo, or for other people, Fajita, got injured. That changed the whole complexion. Did you know he's an ex-Saskatchewan referee?
I did. You were telling me that yesterday.
2 years ago, they almost they let this guy go.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
So Toronto wins 37-18. And like Don mentioned, Fajardo got hurt at the end of the first quarter, which it was a close game at the end of the first quarter. Like this game, I think that did completely change the complexion. And after that, pick six from the Argonauts.
Yeah,
Darian Grant with a crazy touchdown. Like there's some good plays.
Yeah, so if we go into the second quarter, there's about 8 minutes left, and the Montreal backup quarterback, I don't recall his name, and I don't really care about it anyways. He gets picked off at his own 10. That gets returned for a touchdown.
Yeah.
And then, so we're still in quarter number 2, and Montreal comes back, and they're just, they actually made it 17-15, and with under a minute left, kick off the ball to Grant, and he goes like 103 yards for the touchdown.
Return touchdown, back-to-back weeks of the return touchdown.
And he almost broke another one after that too.
Yeah.
He got snagged.
Every time that guy gets the ball, it's like, you're like, is this guy going to break off? Like his speed, like he starts going, and then he just turns on the jets, and he's scary.
Yeah, and so then once we got down to about 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, it was 34-18 for the Argos. Beautiful interception. That wrapped the game up.
Yeah, at that point, there's no hope for the Alouettes coming back. They really struggled without Cody Fajardo. Another momentum thing, the Philpott, they got a touchdown right before the half, and then they missed that 2-point conversion, which is why it was 17-15. So that would have been big for them tying it up. I mean, Jaren Grant still did take that touchdown. I think he would have done that either way, but good bounce back game from Dukes, I thought. Playing in a tough Montreal crowd,
I don't really know about that because I'm gonna call this a coaching win because they kept him into the comfort zone of what he was able to do. Because as we saw against Saskatchewan, if he throws over 20 yards, he gets picked off. So his stats were 16 for 20 for 131 yards, averaging 8.1 yards a pass.
But you know what?
So they were short dumps.
Yeah, but he managed the game, and what I mean is after having such a struggling game last one, to have the mental confidence come in and just play that way and play your game and lead them to a victory. I think that was close.
Well, why don't you call him up and ask him for a date then, okay?
Anything else to add from that Toronto game?
That one's done.
So Montreal's winning streak ended. What was the winning? Did it back to last season? Do you remember what the games would have been at? There's 5 games this year, and then
they had a 13-game win streak.
13 total.
Yeah.
So 8 games. So
it was from September of last year.
Yeah. So their 13-game win streak comes to an end. And they're off next week, so they'll hope to get, which is perfect time for them. I mean, they'll get some time for Fajardo to take some time off, rest up that leg, and hopefully we'll see him back in the following week. So, moving on to the Friday Night Football, we watched this game. We got the Calgary Stampeders at Princess Auto Stadium in Winnipeg facing the Bombers. And Bombers coming off their first win of the week, or first win of the season the previous week. It looked like it was going to be Calgary's game in the first drive, if you're basing the whole game off the first drive. They had a really impressive first drive down the field. Marched right down, took the lead, and then Winnipeg got intercepted on their first drive. So everything was going right for Calgary, and I mean, Winnipeg ended up winning 41-31, but...
41-37.
Oh, what? 41-37. And like you said earlier, this is the game who wanted to win the least.
I was about to say, it's okay, he's just learning the CFL, and obviously numbers too.
Bombers got intercepted on the first drive, and then the next drive, they intercepted Calgary.
Yeah, I was just going over the highlights for that game. And there was one point, it was in the second quarter, with about 2 minutes left. BC was down, or Calgary was up 13-9, and then the bomb.
This
bomb.
Yeah, Calero's a bomb. Now, the first touchdown pass of the season.
Yeah.
6 games in, that's crazy.
And then shortly after that, now we're going, it's 13, Calgary 23, the Bombers. And Calgary throws a bomb. Which was up there. So it was just like a back and forth kind of game. And then we're into the fourth quarter, 7 minutes left, and Calgary goes ahead 37-34 with another nice touchdown pass. And you're thinking, oh no, too bad for the Bombers. Typical Bombers are going to just bugger this one up again. And then 3 minutes left, Bombers get the go-ahead touchdown.
Oliveira.
No, not Oliveira.
I thought it was Oliveira on that one.
No, Oliveira's number 20. Anyways, and at that point, they were able to stop Calgary, and that was the final score of the game.
Yeah, I mean, the ball was coming out everywhere in this game. They even had a blocked punt.
Yeah.
At one point in the game. So, pick six, interception, fumbles. Like, they were just giving the ball, both teams. And Calgary, at one point in the game, I don't know if you have a highlight for that, but they had like a botched snap that turned into a really great run down the field.
Yeah, no idea.
He handed off, missed it, and then he ran down the field. But
no, unfortunately, I wasn't able to record the whole game and put it on the bloody podcast. Okay.
Well, you know what, Don?
No, we're covering 4 games here.
Red, do better.
You know what?
Do better.
How about this? Do something.
Anything else to add about that Calgary game? I mean, you watched it again last night.
Well, yeah, like I was torn between what was the game of the week. It was between the Edmonton game and the Calgary game, and I'm going, well, the Calgary Bombers game was high scoring, which I like, and the Edmonton game was exciting for the last, I don't know, 60 seconds of the game, but then TSN, like I was saying, aired the entire Calgary Bomber game on again last night.
Yeah.
And I watched the whole game. So if I'm watching a game that I already know the score and I've already watched a couple days ago, that to me was the game of the week.
Yeah, Calgary at Winnipeg. I'd say a crazy shootout, and happy for my Bombers. Back-to-back wins for them, and they're playing their rival Saskatchewan this week, so I'm hoping for another win, and then we'll go to Toronto, where we'll be at that game, which will be an exciting one if they're on a 3-game win streak.
We will be at that game.
All right, moving on to Saturday Night Football. We had Saskatchewan visiting BC, which we both touted as our potential game of the week.
Yeah, it still actually could have been, but it wasn't.
Yeah, early test of the best of the West. See what I did there.
I saw what you did. Yeah, very good.
And BC came out on top. And you know what? Going into the season, I was hearing really good things about BC, and they're looking like an impressive team. And each week, I think they just keep looking better and better. And they're winning. They beat Toronto. They beat Saskatchewan now. Like they're beating the heavy hitters. And McInnes looks great. Like their offense is running efficiently. Like I like the BC Lions right now.
I do too. Let's talk about McGinnis. Here we go. We're in the first quarter, 5 minutes left, and he gets a nice touchdown pass. By the way, did you know that his stats? Understanding he was injured or he was actually taken out of the game for at least half a quarter, and then he came back in. 14 catches, 243 yards, and a touchdown.
He's catching bombs down the field. Like this guy's just unbelievable.
And so then it was. Then we're gonna go to the fourth quarter where it was 13. Let me just take a look at this again, make sure I got the right thing. Where it was BC 22, Saskatchewan 13. Saskatchewan hands off the ball.
Olette.
But what had happened before that is that they were 3rd and goal.
Oh, yep.
Which I'm going to show you that now. They were 3rd and goal. They got stopped. And then they picked off the ball. And then they do this onside kick. No one was expecting it. There's like 12 minutes left in the quarter. And they do this onside kick, snag the ball, and it's like, that was crazy. And unfortunately, Saskatchewan wasn't able to do too much with that one. And we go down with about 8 minutes left, and it was still 22-20 for BC.
Oh, and he just ran right in.
And he just rumbled in with the touchdown. And at that point, Saskatchewan was just out of gas.
Yeah. Oh, that looked good in this game. Like, you see that one hurdle play that he had where he jumped over the defender and just looked, his athleticism
and the
is crazy.
spin moves that he was doing?
Yeah. And he's like strong. You know, he reminds me of Deebo Samuel a little bit, the way his like body's built. He's a little bit shorter. Just like built like a truck. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And just like
he is a halfback in a fullback's body.
Yeah. So I mean, he's exciting to watch. Ex-Argonaut. But
speaking of X, did you know that McGinnis was an ex-Saskatchewan Rough Rider?
All the grades apparently used to be
They're
Rough
just
Riders.
giving them away. hey, guess what? There's a sale in Saskatchewan. Take whoever you want.
So BC hands Rough Riders their first loss this season. So now we have 0 undefeated teams, with Montreal and Saskatchewan both losing.
Yeah, we don't have any.
So no one's undefeated anymore. We do have some winless teams, though, and that'll be 2 of them. We'll be talking about the Tiger Cats and the Edmonton Elks. But big thing to know from this game, which we're still on field goal watch, 6 for 6 for the BC kicker.
7 for 7. Get your facts right.
No, it was 6 for 6.
I got 7 for 7.
Maybe we'll trust Don on this one, but
Damn right you'll trust on this one.
I'm pretty sure it was.
So he's checking it anyways. Look at the son of a bitch. Look, checking it anyway.
Anyways, that brings him to 38 or 39 in a row.
39.
39 in a row. And
you keep on yakking, I'll show you the stats.
All right. So 39 in a row for the BC kicker. That's it'll be interesting to see when he's going to miss. The record's like a lot higher than that, so he's still far away to go. But definitely he's Mr. Automatic for them. So moving on to the last game of the week, Ottawa at Edmonton. Edmonton found a way to lose at the end of the game, which led to the firing of their head coach. But you had an interesting stat for this one, right? The Ottawa quarterback. Well, I mean, Drew Brown, 26 for 38, 480 yards, 2 touchdowns. But the big thing was he had 3 receivers with over 100 yards passing.
Right at the bottom.
All right, so yeah.
7 for 7.
All right.
You know what? You just should stop embarrassing yourself. Okay? Just take it easy.
The stats that I read are different than the stats you find.
So well, it's because, what do you mean they're different than you find?
I don't know what that's all about, but... All right, so 7 for 7, so that puts him 39 straight.
Oh, my goodness.
And, so John, tell us a little bit more about the receivers for the Ottawa Red Blacks in that Edmonton.
Well, there was 3 receivers with over 100 yards receiving in that game. I've never seen that in my life. And the lowest total was 110 yards. Like, that was crazy. But if we go into the game here, look at my stats. So we're at in the second quarter, 7-3 Edmonton. What a catch. This was a bomb. This is going to be up top here, too. And this guy gets just the crack smacked out of him when he catches the ball. Look at this. Look at this. Watch this. Boom!
Right into the end zone. I like McLeod Bethel-Thompson. I want to see that. I want to see.
You know what? It's not
this new look coach. Maybe they'll get something going.
It's not his fault. And then Ottawa that does a little swing pass out to the 55, and all of a sudden this guy turns his jets on, and he goes right. That was this guy's. He's got the speed on him. And then again, we go down to do or die time. And Edmonton, with 11 seconds left, 8 seconds left, scores a touchdown. Gets the extra point.
Looks like they might get their first win of the season.
Ties it up.
Yeah. They tied it up. Yeah.
And if your field goal kicker earlier on hadn't blown the field goal,
yeah,
that would have been over. And then after that, they kick off the ball. The guy kicks it out of bounds, right? Well, let's just basically start it at midfield.
Yeah.
Then it's just a...
But they only had one time. They only had enough time for one play. Like that one play that they had. If they didn't to get in field goal range, like
that's why
like the chances.
Well, that's why it's mind-boggling that Edmonton lost this, right?
Because when they got down, like 2 seconds left on the clock, all they had time was for a kick. So
yeah, and then so they start the ball at the 50 because out of bounds kick, 15-yard penalty. They throw the ball to the Edmonton 30. No time left on the clock. Field goal. Oh yeah, it's over. It's over.
Ottawa wins it.
Ottawa wins it. And you know what? Like I can honestly say, I don't recall ever seeing a game where the team has lost when the game is tied with 8 seconds left and they're kicking the ball off.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, the likelihood of that.
Like I mean, I'm sure it's happened.
Yeah.
I just don't remember it.
Well, you don't remember everything, so.
Well, speaking of don't remember everything, yeah, you got that down pat.
And that kick was made by Ward, so I was just doing a little research. So the longest streak of consecutive field goals, 69, by the Ottawa Redblacks kicker, Ward.
69.
69, so he's 39, so he's still 30 kicks away from that record.
Oh, 69. I think 69-yarder. Okay, so
that was 69 in a row.
That's okay. Yeah. Were you wondering why, when at that point the game was out of hand and there was only 1 second left, and he kicked another field goal, and because it was already over? Did you know why that happened?
What do you mean?
The last play of the game was over. Saskatchewan couldn't win. 1 second left, and BC kicks another field goal.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Did you know why they did that?
No.
Because they're only playing twice this year, head to head, and if each team wins, then it's who scores the most points.
Oh, so they're already thinking about that.
Yeah. Oh. That's why it's like, okay, it's out of hand. We're up by 13 points, and there's 1 second left on the clock. No, we're going for the field goal.
So they're both 5-1 then.
Yeah.
The Lions and the Rough Riders, 5-1. Oh no, Saskatchewan's 4-1.
Saskatchewan's 4-1. Isn't BC 4-1 too? No, 5-1. Okay.
So BC hasn't been off yet.
They'll be off soon.
They'll be off next week, probably.
No, they're playing Calgary.
No, next week.
Well, that's
not this upcoming week.
That's not what you said. You
not
said
this
next
upcoming week. Next week. This is this week. Okay. Next week.
Okay, you know what? Learn the English language, and then people will understand you easier.
Oh my goodness. So the no undefeated teams, 2 winless teams. All right, let's look at the upcoming schedule, shall we?
Oh, wait. Before we look at the upcoming schedule, who won this week?
Well, let's take a look.
Oh, well, what are you doing? I can see it from here.
It looks like
your 1 week winning streak has ended. Is that what it?
It looks like it might have ended, and we've got now.
It might have ended. Okay, I do have a question for you. Maybe you can help me out with this, because I've been thinking about it. I've been trying to figure this out, and I don't have the answer. Maybe you do. I would like to know, how is it 6 weeks into the season when only 4 teams play in a week? You have 2 weeks under 500, 1 and 3. How could and I win this week on my only 200 week, or on my only 500 week? Like
The Alouettes should have won this week. The Rough Riders.
Okay, listen to this guy
Alouettes lost in the last play.
Blaming the teams for his picks. Okay, you know what? When you go into any sporting event, anybody can get injured at any time. All right, can't be blaming the teams. You have to blame yourself.
No, I'm sticking to it.
And it wasn't the Alouettes that cost you, because I picked the Alouettes too.
The Elks should have won too.
I picked the Elks too. But you picked Saskatchewan against BC in BC. And I'm thinking, there's no way.
The Rough Riders were hot. They were hot. They were rolling. I liked what they were doing. I like Shea Patterson came in, what he did in the last few weeks.
Okay, well,
you know what?
Okay.
So
that will explain this week. What about the other 4? Oh, I'm just learning CFL.
Exactly. There's still a learning curve that comes with learning a new league.
Well,
I've been watching it for 80 years like you have.
Well, that learning curve
This is my first week.
That learning curve is going to give me a ticket to a game next year. A sweet ticket.
No, because it's a steep learning curve. It's over now. And going into week 7.
Just
watch what happens.
And you're 5 games down.
Just watch what happens.
Oh, I'm going to watch it, and then I'm going to laugh and laugh and laugh.
Just watch what happens.
You think you're going to beat me in this thing?
I know I'm going to beat you in this thing.
Oh, really? Why don't we sweeten the pot?
There's 15 weeks
left. How about throwing in your car?
You can't handle my car.
Oh, I can handle your car.
All right, let's get into this week's kicking off. So no Thursday night game this week. A little bit disappointing for that. But we've got 2
Friday doubleheader.
Elks are visiting the Red Blacks and the Bombers and the Rough Riders. So I'm off that game, so I'll be catching both those games.
You're off that game?
Yeah, I'm actually not playing. That's what they didn't call me up for the Bomber game.
So then maybe they do have a chance to win.
Let's start off with Elks and Red Blacks. So repeat from last week, except we're in Ottawa this time. Elks with their new coach. It was a close game. What do you think is going to happen this one?
I don't know. I'm not picking first pick. You are.
Why do I pick first pick?
Because we go first, second.
You always pick first.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
No, I don't.
Elks at Red Blacks.
This one for me is a really tough call, because if Ottawa didn't have so many penalties and so many turnovers, they would have killed Edmonton last week. But on the other hand, I've seen so many times when you get a coaching change, the team
they play differently.
They just go up a couple levels.
Having said, I'm picking the Red Blacks.
You're picking Ottawa. Well, yeah, I got to go Ottawa too. I don't have confidence right now with.
I think it'll take a little bit of time for Edmonton, but I like their offense. I'm gonna stick with the Red Blacks. All right, Bombers at Rough Riders. We got an early Banjo Bowl matchup. Bombers coming off a 2-game win streak, and the Rough Riders coming off their first loss of the season. They're playing in Saskatchewan.
I think this is going to be game of the week.
Looking at the other ones, I could see Lions Stampeders actually being game of the week as well.
I don't think the Stampeders are going to be able to even play in the same park with BC right now. Like understanding, or like I was saying before, the Blue Bombers scored 41 points on them, and the Blue Bombers were struggling to win. If you can score 41 points on it when you're struggling to win, yeah.
But they also put up 37 though, the Stampeders. So
against a terrible Bombers team.
Not a terrible team. Their defensive.
Going into this game, they had 1 win. Okay?
I know, but their secondary is like where they struggle.
You don't know what the hell you're talking about.
No. I'm going.
Absolutely. No, I
think that could be.
I get to pick first. Now.
I think that could
Remember?
be.
I'm going Riders. Oh.
I'm going blue. I'm going with my Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Picking my first team over my third team. All right, moving on. Argonauts and Tiger Cats. I think this is a wash. Tiger Cats are coming off their bye week, but I think Argonauts, after that big win against Montreal, they're going to have confidence. And as much as I want to see the Tiger Cats win, I got to go Argonauts.
I didn't even have to say Argonauts. You just put it down for me.
I figure you're going to pick the Argonauts.
Well, you know what? Like, if Hamilton doesn't win this week, I want them off the rankings. I want my high school team put up there. And Hamilton's got to earn their way back up. Because that's
there's no relegation here. They're there until, they prove otherwise.
There's no relegation.
We're not relegating them out.
Well, this is our podcast. We can do it whatever the hell we want.
All right. Potential game of the week matchup here. We got Lions and St. Peter's. Who you got for this one?
Really? You're asking me who I got? After I just talked shit up with the Stampeders, you're asking me who I got? I'll take BC, thank you very much.
I'm going to go with the Lions as well. So
right.
one split this week again.
You know what? I'm really thinking about that Elks Red Blacks. That's it's gonna be a tough one for me.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch that one though, to see how each team's gonna play. And I mean, the Ottawa crowd's pretty good.
Yeah, I really something saying go with the Elks, but the fact is, like I was saying,
you could all the evidence all season, right? Like they've been in a close game. Like they've never got blown out all season.
But they keep inventing ways to lose now. Like inventing ways.
Eventually, you have to win, but well, there you have it. Don has. We'll give him 24 hours to make a change in the pick, and we'll update
No, I'm not
guys,
changing. I'm sticking with my picks.
All right, you gonna stay with your picks? Good for you. All right, let's move on to the power rankings here. Week 7. Lots of movement on both sides, up, down. I moved everyone except my top and bottom. So the Alouettes I kept at the top, and the Tiger Cats kept at the bottom. But I moved Lions up to second place. I mean, I think after what I was reading about in the preseason, now they're actually showing that. I think that they are one of the best teams. I think they could be the best team in the CFL.
Well, I think
once they get their groove going,
I think you're going to see within the next 2 weeks they're going to be the cream of the crop.
I think so.
I don't think anyone's going to be beating them anytime soon.
Yeah. So after a tough week for the Argonauts, I moved them up again. So they're sitting at 3rd for me, and the Rough Riders, after the loss to BC, I moved them down to 4th.
See, I don't really understand that because, I also had BC up.
Yep.
Just behind the Alouettes. I put Saskatchewan down 1, but still I had the Argos. And the only reason why I did that was because Saskatchewan has been winning overall with a backup quarterback, right?
Yeah.
The Argos, the only reason why they won that game was because they played against.
And the only reason that they won, that was a big impact on the game. But
if you had Fajita in there for the whole game, I'm telling you, it would have been a whole different story.
Like you said, injuries can happen in any game.
I understand that, but I'm just saying.
They beat the best
team.
If they would have put Fajita in there, they beat the best team in the league at home. So
they beat the best team in the league with a backup quarterback at home.
My power rankings don't reflect how the Rough Riders.
And that's why you're so successful on your weekly picks.
The Rough Riders -2 is not a reflection of them. It's a reflection of how well the Lions and the Argonauts both looked. That's why I had to move them both up, which left only one spot, and that meant the Saskatchewan Rough Riders had to move down. So that's what I'm sticking with. That's what I'm going with.
No one gives a shit.
Shut up or put up.
And I have absolutely put up, and I've explained why.
Right? And I explained why.
You're just talking nonsense.
So I'm just talking how you always talk?
Now, the next picks, we got the Bombers at the same.
We both moved the Bombers up. You moved the Stampeders down 2 and moved the Red Blacks up 2.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how you did that. But
because, I had them in one spot, and then I put them in another one.
The Red Blacks barely beat the second worst team in the league. They actually had to have help from the Elks to win that game.
Calgary lost to also one of the worst teams in the league.
They're not the worst team in the league. We both have them 5th ranked in the power rankings. How are they the worst team in the league?
We have them 5th because we have high expectations of them. If you recall, we started them off as number 1.
They're also 4-time Grey Cup champ appearance.
That's why they're where they are.
Yeah. So they're not. They have a great roster. They just haven't
I'm not saying that they should be down lower. I'm saying they haven't played well this year.
They've played better in the last 2 games. They're getting their stride. They started off a little bit slow.
Well,
but
I watched the Bomber game twice, okay? Just relax.
Okay. You relax. So I had the Red Blacks 3rd last and the Elks down to the bottom, hanging out with the Tiger Cats. So.
And no matter how hard we try, no matter how bad Edmonton is, we just still can't put them below Hamilton.
No, we'll see what happens this week. They might take the bottom spot if they...
Let's go back for a second. Isn't Hamilton your second team?
They are? Yeah, I'm picking my rankings objectively.
Okay, but I'm talking...
How many times do I have to say that every week?
I'm talking about the weekly picks. You didn't pick them to win again this
Because
week.
I'm not picking with my heart, I'm picking with my head. Obviously, the Argonauts are the better team. They're going to beat the Tiger Cats.
So that's how you support your team.
So there we have it, guys. There's our Week 7 power rankings. Lots of movement, which is cool to see in a 9-team league. Everyone has a chance to prove everything every week. So, yeah, some exciting matchups coming up. And I'll be able to catch 2 of them, which is nice.
I'll be able to catch all 4 of them, which is even nicer.
Yeah, no WWE this weekend, right? So there's nothing going to take your time.
No, that's going to be next week. Or 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
SummerSlam.
SummerSlam.
Berlin's after that, then, right?
Can we start talking about wrestling right now? This is a football thing.
Yeah, so I think that's it for this week. One more week closer to our CFL game we're looking forward to. Anything else to add for this week, Don?
No, I'm just expecting these same results different week.
Well, you'll see what's going to follow. You can follow along with us, and we'll catch you next week. See who wins. We'll do a little recap preview like we always do. We'll update our power rankings. We'll see who moves up, who moves down, and see if there's any coaching changes as well. So thanks again for watching. Make sure you smash that like button and leave a comment if you guys think the rankings are different. A couple of you guys have let us know if you have different rankings. We always like to hear what you guys think, what your opinion is on where teams place and how they're doing. And subscribe so you can see more CFL content, more WWE content, more NFL content will come at you shortly as well with the season getting underway. And until then, we'll see you next time, guys.
Thanks, guys.